Shalom, giving all praise to Yahawah, Shalom to the hopeful elect out there. I'll make this a super quick video. Anyway, I'm going to title this another example of the abomination and fornication from the golden cup. And that's from Revelation 17:4. And I'll read it real quick. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colored. This represented Babylon the Great, the U.S., and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication, which has nothing to do with Revelation 13 and 16. I'm just giving you another. I did videos on this in the past. Let me just click on this and pull these words out. Revelation 17:4 and Revelation 13 verse 16 have two different meanings. They don't mean the same thing. So it said there was a golden cup in her hand full of abominations. I'll let you listen.
Strong's G 946.
Bedelugma. A foul thing, a detestable thing of idols and things pertaining to idolatry. A foul thing and a detestable thing. Let me go to the root of that word. Also in the Greek. Right. Presume derivative of bideo, to stink. Like a body is, you have to bury the body. No matter how much you love the person, you have to bury the body because it's abominable. It can make you sick. It can kill you. To render foul, to cause to be abhorred, abominable. When your wife in Israel, in the law, when your wife has a period, a monthly, she's an abomination to you for that 7-day period, to turn oneself away from, on account of the stench, metaphorically, to abhor, to detest. So when it says abhor not an Edomite, we know it's talking about the Syrians, but let's go with the fact that it's talking about Edomites. Well, we're supposed to, you're not going to get a disease by being around Esau. So that's what that meant. So let's come on back. To so abomination and filthiness. Being an elemental P is an abomination. You got the word here. Let me let you listen to it.
Strong's G 168.
Athakartes. Impurity, filthiness. That's why a man shouldn't lay with another man's wife, because that's filthiness right there. That's impure. That's impure. That's why women have diseases. You get diseases from women that lay around with different men. So here's the root of the word, not clean, unclean. Right. When a woman's on a period, she's unclean. The Most High referred to us as what? As a menstruous cloth, as a filthy rag. You know, you go into a house, you sit down for dinner, and there's a menstruous cloth there with blood on it, you're going to leave the house. You're not going to ask for an explanation. If they say, oh, I'll clean it up, no, I'm out of here. You never come back to that house again. It says in the ceremonial sense, that which must be abstained from according to the Levitical law. So when there's a dead body, you're not supposed to be with that dead body. Now, if your mother, your father, your brother, your sons, your daughters, and your sister, if she's not married, you can go before the dead body, but you're unclean for 7 days. So now back there, we didn't have undertakers that worked, that dealt with your body. The family buried the body. Because that person that had a job being an undertaker, he would be unclean all the time. You wouldn't want to be around him. There's a story that Apostle Ramlab told me concerning a man that was dealing with a woman, and the man, it was our woman that just jumped on everybody's, merry-go-round, if you know what I mean, because they freaky. Our women are freaky for the most part. And this man, had sex with the woman, and he said, let me, discharge on your breast. And she said, yeah. And she took a shower and everything. And the next day she had these bumps all over her, these funny looking bumps all over her chest. And she went to the doctor, and the doctor said, that's either from two things. If you had sex with a man, and by the way, she didn't use a condom. That's the reason why our women are filled with diseases. I did a video on that. What was that? Houston, Texas, I think it was. There's a major outbreak of syphilis in Houston, Texas, among women between the ages of 18 and 44. So when men get it, they get it because they get it from their woman that was dealing with 3 and 4 different dudes. And not saying, because he ain't gonna put a protection on. And then when she goes out with other men, they don't put protection on. So she brings the disease back to her man. That's why the scriptures, the Most High, he doesn't tolerate adultery. That's a sin unto death. And adultery only applies when a man lays with a woman that's married to another man. Not when a man is married to a man and he deals with another woman that's not married to a man. That's not adultery. It says in a moral sense, unclean in thought and life. So let me deal with the word fornication one more time. And like I said, this has nothing to do with the MOTB. The men of and women said that the General Nathaniel God dropped a gem on them. He didn't drop a gem on you. Porneia, illicit sexual intercourse, adultery. The porneia just means adultery, but it goes into foul sex acts. Sodomy should be the word for this one right here. Fornication means adultery. Sodomy. Close relatives. Sexual intercourse with a divorced man or woman. Well, like I said, adultery only occurs when a man lays with a woman that's married to another man, not a man cheating on his woman. If he lays with another woman outside of his wife, that's not cheating and that's not adultery. Sexual intercourse with close relatives, I read that. Metaphorically, the worship of idols. of the defilement of idolatry as incurred by eating the sacrifices offered to idols. So when we eat our food, all our food is defiled. Defiled, the word defile here, our food is defiled among the Gentiles. So there's no place you can go to buy clean food unless you have a farm and you raise your own animals. So we're eating defiled food that's sacrificed to other gods or to idols. So when you eat your food, you remember to pray over it. A lot of times you forget, sometimes you just dig in and eat. But every once in a while you remember and you pray over the food. And see, if you do all these things, if the charagma was the same thing as fornication, that means if a man, an Israelite man, lay with another woman that's married to another man, that's the MOTB. No, it's not. I want to go to the root of that. To prostitute one's body to the lust of another. An Israelite woman, if she prostitutes herself, she lays with more than one man. The father is to put her to death by burning her. She played the harlot. To give oneself to unlawful sexual intercourse, that's fornication. To commit fornication, which is adultery, metaphorically to be given to idolatry or worship idols. And that's to be a part of the system, to partake in the system, to permit oneself to be drawn away by another in idolatry. So I did all that just to cover this right here. Let me see, where am I? Is this it? Bear me for a minute. Oh, this is not it. This is not what I wanted. Okay, here we go. It says, this is put up by Views from Scripture. Biden wants Jamaican diplomats gone because Jamaica not recognizing, you know what I want to say, married couple. Because there's ambassadors from America they're going to be ambassadors for Jamaica. They're going to rep America's diplomats for Jamaica. So they don't show you who it is, what he looks like, who it is, whether it's a woman or a man and a man. But the person from the U.S. coming to Jamaica is one of them, and he or she is married to another one of the same kind. So Jamaica clearly has a law against being one of those people. Why? Because they're Israelites. Romans 8 and Romans 8 and 16. That's also in I believe that's Romans 2 and 12, if I'm not mistaken. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get it. Because there's certain things Jake know in their spirit not to be one of those things. That's why when Jake does it, a lot of our people do that, but they have it under wraps because they know that it's wicked. See, Esau is out open with it because he's the devil. He's supposed to do it. He's supposed to not care. Romans 2, if I'm not mistaken, either 12 or 14. See if I'm right. Okay. For as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law. And as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged of the law. I'm sorry, that was the 12th verse. Well, you can start from the 12th verse. For not the hearer of the law are just before the Most High, but the doers of the law shall be justified. For when the Gentiles, meaning the Israelite foreigners, which have not the law, because they were forced not to keep the law, going back to Antiochus Epiphanes' time, Maccabees, where they killed you if you kept the laws. You couldn't keep the Sabbath, you couldn't circumcise your children, you had to dress like a Greek. That's why Paul, when he spoke to those churches in Asia Minor, they were all speaking primarily Greek, because they came out of that Hellenistic thing, but they learned, the conquerors, you have to speak their language. It says, for the Gentiles, which are the Israelites, which have not the law, do by nature the thing contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves, meaning they know, if you don't learn, if nobody ever said, well, it's wrong to kill somebody, you know that it's wrong to kill somebody. That's in your spirit. If you are one of them, you know that it's wrong. You know in your spirit that it's wrong. When you steal, you know in your spirit you did something wrong, because you wouldn't want anything taken from you, stolen from you. So the law is written in our hearts to a certain degree. But ultimately, the new covenant, the full fulfillment of the new covenant is when we're going to be programmed and we're going to keep the laws automatically, because we're going to have to teach the other nations. So anyway, so you can watch this. If I remember, I'll put this in the description box. I didn't even watch the whole thing. It's 5 minutes, 30 seconds long. But this is all I need to watch to make, to prompt me to make a video. And that's all that is. What's happening right here in this video with America, and it happened in Africa and Uganda, is the fulfillment of Revelation 17, verse 4. But it has nothing to do with Revelation 13 and 16, because Jamaica and these other nations are going to accept the Quran, but they're not going to accept this thing right here. So there's a difference. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say Shalom. Like I said, I was going to make this short.